Here, sweetie.
Is that for this month? I thought we were gonna consult each other before spending money like this. What's all this stuff for?
We needed all those things, and it was on sale.
Well, now it's a good time to be telling me. How are we gonna pay for all this?
When you need to buy books for school, I have to understand. But whenever I want to buy anything, it's like I've committed some sort of sin.
Okay, you're talking about two different things. What I'm talking about is...
No, what I'm talking about is how you make me feel whenever I need to buy anything.
Fighting over money is one of the biggest problems in marriages.
When there is no financial plan for the family, we have these problems.
It's really important to understand how each of you values money and what the deeper meaning of money is for you.
Before committing yourself to a relationship, ask yourself, are you a spender or a saver? How does money impact your sense of self-worth? And how do you feel about sharing your money with your future spouse?
One of the reasons why couples are fighting over finances is because of what money means to each of them. For some people, money is associated with status, it's associated with quality of life. For others, it's about having a say in what's going on in your financial decision making. It's important to appreciate and respect that.
But then there are those who say, I have more rights over you and you have more rights. It could even be religion. It could be just the idea that I have more rights. I work harder than you and I make more than you, so it's my money. You can't have all the money.
It should be that this spouse is my partner, is my support, is my backbone. Whatever I make, I share with this person. The attitude that we've developed, if I sign the check, I dictate. Your house is not a corporation.
Any understanding of Islamic law and of rights that leads to harshness or leads to making relationships worse is a mistaken understanding of religion.
Since we spend so much of our lives engaged in transactions of one kind or another, it's important to talk about your financial goals and carefully listen to what each of you says.
Get into talking about, well, what does it mean to you with our financial well-being? What does that mean? What does a good financial outcome look like?
When someone is looking for someone to get married, you have to bring your list. This is what I am and this is what I want to achieve.
What I suggest to couples is, again, communicating and recognizing that we can't always do it your way versus my way. We got to do it our way. We got to find our way.
Even before the wedding takes place, a couple should have a game plan that covers a monthly budget and some financial goals as well.
Sitting down and talking about how are we going to spend money. So how much are we going to spend on groceries? How much are we going to spend on leisurely activities? How much are we going to save?
Who will pay the student loans? Are they going to be splitting the finances in a common account? Or do they agree to keep their accounts separate?
One person might feel like, I just think my partner's better at finances and keeping track of things and being organized, so I let him or her do that. But they, first of all, come to an agreement about what their sort of financial goal would be like.
For example, if one person is going to school, maybe there will be 5 years where you need to sacrifice the things that are important to you for that other person, but then after those 5 years, you will reap the rewards with your spouse.
Whether they both work or one of them works, they understand the limits, the financial limits.
Set a designated time during the week or the month where bills will be paid. And while one person takes a leadership role in it, the others should still be involved or at least informed as to how the finances are being managed.
Once you have that game plan and you have everything written on paper, then you can always go back to it when there's an argument or there's a disagreement over money.
In Islam, the husband is normally responsible for earning a living. While wives can also work and pursue a career, the goal of having a strong and happy family needs as much thought and consideration as our financial goals.
We stress on the responsibility of raising a family is more important than the money itself.
After years of counseling Muslim couples, I've found that the most successful are the ones where the division of labor is clear. If the wife is bringing in a certain amount of money, she cannot be required to be cooking and cleaning. The husband, he has to realize now that she's taking on, a very serious responsibility that she doesn't have to do in Islam. There needs to be some sort of provision for the fact that she is spending extra time outside of the house.
Money is a means, okay? Whereas raising children is a purpose, is a goal to achieve. So we cannot compare the means to the goals. The goals take priorities.
In an age of hyper-consumerism, we need to ask ourselves, how many things do we really need to be happy? How much time and effort goes into buying things for the house versus making a loving home?
If a person makes $60,000, but the family spends $70,000, $10,000 will be in the credit card, and of course compound interest and all of these things. And it adds up stress over stress.
Debt is a sure means to misery. So you avoid spending that leads you to debt.
And sometimes that's the mistake that we make, is that we think that we need to work I don't know how many hours a day to get those material things, but then we don't even have the time to enjoy those material things.
There's no harm in seeking the joys of this life, yet you see the bigger picture, that this worldly life is not what it's all about, that there is a hereafter.
People see sales and then they go and buy because it's on sale, but you don't need it.
Will this really make you happier if you have it? Can you do without it? The good of this life is sought step by step. The good of this life is either those things that are pleasing to Allah or the things that are of genuine benefit.
Right now we work hard for the future, but then when we get to the future, we realize that all that time that we could have been spending with our family has been lost, or your family is lost.
When I say I am content in French or contente in Italian, it means I am happy. So the word content and happy is one. It means I do not want to go beyond my needs. I want to have contentment and happiness between us. The objects, they will be means, but you and I will be the goal.